Diolch yn fawr. I have some questions on post-Brexit funding. You will be very aware of the £1.6 billion post-Brexit Towns Fund for England. Could you update us on Welsh consequentials that we can expect as a result of that?
Thank you very much. This announcement came out of nowhere to us, and we're still trying to work through with the government, with the UK government, to what extent the funding is new money. I understand that around £1 million of that is potentially new money, so I think we would be looking at consequentials of around the region of £50 million if our understanding is confirmed to be true. The other £600 million, I understand, would be for towns to bid into, and we would be able to bid into that or potentially have consequential funding from that. But unfortunately, it's proven extremely difficult to get clarity from the UK government on this. I see this very much as a bribe to towns across England. It offers nothing like the kind of funding which we would have been in Wales, certainly being attracted from the European Union, £350 million a year. So the £50 million consequential is just a drop in the ocean, should that figure be the correct figure.
And of course, I agree that it will be very difficult for us to maintain the kind of funding levels that we have benefited from due to our membership of the European Union. There are other funds also. We had a funding package announced for local authorities in England with ports in them recently. There's the £140 million package for Northern Ireland announced recently. Could you update us on consequentials of that for Wales?
Yes, with regards to the ports funding, our understanding is that funding isn't new money, it's just re-announced money, so there'll be no consequentials coming to Welsh Government as a result of that. With regard to the £140 million which has been provided to the Northern Ireland budget in 1920, that is a matter of huge concern to Welsh Government, because we have a quite clear agreement with the UK government in terms of our statement of funding policy. Our statement of funding policy is there to offer fair funding across the nations, and this certainly is not within either the spirit or the letter of that. Welsh Government would have expected around in the region of £246 million in consequentials for the additional funding that Northern Ireland has been given. We raised this particular issue in terms of the fairness of the funding that's gone to Northern Ireland during our finance quadrilateral. Scottish ministers are equally as frustrated as we are. And we continue to press this. I wrote to the Chief Secretary of the Treasury just this week expressing our deep concern and offering the Chancellor the opportunity to use the spring statement to right what is clearly a wrong.
I sympathise with Welsh Government's frustrations, clearly, but so much of this is about Welsh Government being reactive. The question is here, who is being proactive in seeking deals for Wales on funding post-Brexit or now for that matter? I've been holding discussions with some individuals this morning about the notion of free zones for trade or free ports. You know, where are the bids being prepared for Wales for potentially taking advantage of those kinds of new models? The northeast of England already has a bid prepared for taking advantage of perhaps the development of new free port areas. Now, the question is, who can we depend on to fight for Wales? It seems to me that we can't look to the Secretary of State for Wales, because the Office of the Secretary of State for Wales is redefining itself very much as UK government's voice in Wales, rather than Wales's representation at the UK Cabinet. So we have to look to Welsh Government to go out there and seek deals for us. It seems to me that 10 members of one political party in Northern Ireland are using more leverage than the government of our country. So when can we expect a ramping up of efforts by Welsh Government to be more proactive and putting together and putting forward cases for additional funding for Wales at this hugely crucial time for us as we face the uncertainty of Brexit?
I would reject any suggestion that Welsh Government hasn't been working at pace and with real energy on this particular issue for a long time now. There are numerous meetings between the First Minister, the Prime Minister, the Brexit Minister and his counterparts, myself and my counterparts, and all ministers with particular portfolio interests in this area. During the finance quadrilateral, we talked particularly about the potential for a no-deal Brexit. We were very clear that should there be a no-deal Brexit, there should be additional funding coming to Wales in order to help us deal with what would be a catastrophic result. The Chancellor has previously said that the Spring Statement, which will take place now next week, could be a full fiscal event, yet the Chief Secretary to the Treasury tells us that the Spring Statement will be nothing more than an administrative event which doesn't even warrant a phone call to Welsh Government, because there will be no particular areas of interest to the devolved nations. So Welsh Government has been working very hard in order to ensure that Wales's voice is heard and the seriousness of the issues facing us are heard. But that doesn't mean that we're not using the funds that we do have to develop innovative ideas in order to address both the risk of a no-deal Brexit, but also the challenges which were proposed in any Brexit, which is why, of course, we have our £50 million European Transition Fund, which is making allocations across the breadth of Welsh life in order to ensure that we are well prepared for Brexit, well prepared to make the most of any opportunities which might arise, but also well prepared to deal with the catastrophe that might be a no-deal Brexit.